Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Castello Show. It is match week 7. I am your host, Brian Castello, here with your co-host, John. John, how you feeling?
Good, good.
I'm excited. Well, I'll be honest, I'm not excited for next week, but I am excited about last week. Felt like I had a pretty good fantasy week.
Oh, I'm probably the opposite.
Really? We're gonna go through not all the games, but just like we always do, we're gonna talk about a couple that are interesting to us. First one, Toronto Vancouver was not one of those ones that was interesting to us. 0-0 draw there. The Revs pulled off a 2-1 win over the Red Bulls. That was kinda I didn't expect it. Um, Honestly, the Revolution, I don't know what to make of them right now. Like they do suck, I feel like, but I don't know how bad.
No, but I feel like that was last year too.
Yeah,
And they still have good players. A heel could have a good game at any time.
right.
And I feel like they're a similar team to last year, honestly.
Yeah. No, not a ton's different. The Red Bulls, I will say, I really expected to be better this season than they have been.
They are, I feel like they've been inconsistent for a few years. And I
Yeah,
think the players are as well. Look at Forsberg. Forsberg, you never know what he's going to do in a game.
for sure. No, games that he really should go off, he kind of disappears.
Yep.
Charlotte, 2-0 to Colorado. I mean, just not a good game from Charlotte. Colorado, I mean, both goals really late, but they looked the better team for most of the game.
No, they did. A few things about that game. One, I know I'm always negative on teams I root for, which doesn't make sense, but I just
Mhm.
am. And I'm not in any of the 4 years now have I been on high as Charlotte as other people are.
Yeah,
I'm just not. Um, Maybe that's just a fault of mine, that
yeah.
character fault. But something big in this game, um, that I didn't think about before, and I should have, and I would have started Mihailovic or
Mhm.
taken Colorado. No Privet, because he's on the red.
Big.
Remember last year? Tim Ream comes to the team. Oh,
Yeah.
he's going to replace Privet. It's going to be Melanda and Ream are going to be the two center backs, and now we're going to be better. And they lost to all of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
It was
No,
the worst they played all season. Then they moved Ream out
yeah.
to a wing back, fullback, however they play it. And he's certainly not a fullback. He can't get up and down the field. And all of a sudden, Privet back in, and they were a much better team,
Yeah.
defensively and attacking.
Well, it's funny, I hadn't made that connection, but you're totally
I
right.
thought about it after the game, and I was like, "Son of a bitch! I should have known that."
Right. Nonetheless, 2-0. I mean, not a good game.
So I will say though, going forward, if Privet's out another game,
Yeah.
bet against
Attackers
Charlotte,
against Charlotte for sure.
and bet the other team.
Yeah. Atlanta United, NYCFC 4-3 match.
I mean, that's an Atlanta United game.
Yeah, and it was a good one. They came back. They were fun to watch. Almiron with a goal, Lade Lots with a goal.
Yeah, and he's done some stuff. This is really the first game Almiron is becoming Almiron, I guess.
Yeah, well, and he needs it because, I mean, here's the thing. It's still early. We're 6 weeks in, but you are running out of time to get it going. Like,
As a player, sure. I don't know about as a team.
right. I meant Almiron
Yeah.
individually. You got to get the momentum to start flowing.
Well, and he had the break we talked about from Atlanta.
Yep.
So maybe that helped, and maybe now he's come back refreshed, and he's going to be the Almiron that people expect.
Right.
Hopefully, even though I'm a Charlotte fan, I actually like Atlanta. I'm not supposed to.
Yeah.
It's a likable team, and it is
Yeah.
a much better stadium than us.
Also, NYCFC, bad defending. I mean, I want to give all the credit for 4 goals for Atlanta. But honestly, both sides.
No,
It
it's
did not.
both.
It did not have to be a 4-3 game.
Good attack versus bad defense. It was both.
Yeah. Columbus 2-1 win over DC. I didn't really have anything on this game.
I didn't watch
honestly.
this game.
I mean, Rossi with a goal, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, this game did nothing for me, so I didn't. I didn't watch it at all. So
Miami 2-1 over the Union. Really ugly game from Miami. All the numbers are in the Union's favor, and they just still
disappointing
win.
for the Union.
Yeah. No, but and
They
I
should have been
will
able to jump
say,
on Miami, win this game,
yep.
make a statement as, "No, we are gonna be the best team in the East."
Yeah. Well, and honestly, what Miami is just they're so hard to beat. And I knew that. We all knew that from last season, but even when you are the better team on the day, like they don't need more than one or two chances. Like you have to
Well, they
play it.
do finish.
You got to play it perfect. They're
Yeah,
just so clinical. And you got to score when you have the opportunity. I mean, you need more than one goal to beat Miami. You just do.
in general.
Um, by the way, the one goal, Gazdag, sweet goal, that little touch volley thing, that was nice for Gazdag. I feel like I don't see him score pretty goals a lot anymore.
No, he's technical, he's talented and skillful.
Mhm.
You don't see it all the time.
Right. Well, I just last year there were so many games where I would pick him like this is the week, and
Oh,
it just didn't happen.
there wasn't a lot of letdowns bigger than Gazdag last year for
Yeah.
me.
Um, Montreal held the draw in Chicago.
Yeah,
I mean, I expected Montreal to lose, so
me too.
letdown game for Chicago.
Huge.
Nothing from Kuipers and some other.
0.
It was just all in all not a good day for Chicago. Um, Dallas 2-1 over Sporting Kansas City. Honestly, should be winning by more against them if we're gonna. I mean, if we're really gonna be critical
Lucho
about
on the
it.
board, though.
Yep, Lucho on the board and Musa with the assist. Leo Chu with a goal, and then Sebastian
Sebastian Leggett.
he had an assist as well. Um,
He's someone I took him a few times last year because he
mhm,
was so cheap, expecting more, and he never did anything. I don't. He should be doing better in the MLS than he is.
yeah. Minnesota. Tane Oluwaseyi is, I mean, he's unbelievable, dude. 2 goals. He's on a tear right now. 14 fantasy points.
Can you get a team in the MLS though more? Who's going to score today?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeboah was like the player of the week before. What's Yeboah's points in fantasy this week?
This week he did not do well. 3 points.
3 points. And what did Oluwaseyi have?
14.
And last week, Yeboah had 14 or
Yeah,
even a little
it
more,
was the
15 or
opposite.
16. Yep. So you just don't know. It makes it so hard with when you like that team, just bet them.
Yeah.
You can't go fantasy heavy on them. It's or maybe hopefully they're an early game, you can put them on that guy on the bench
hmm
and hope that's the guy that's going to score that day.
Now, fantasy wise, I do still like them for defense a lot. I had 2 Minnesota defenders this week, and it worked out. Um, Cincinnati 2-1 win over Nashville.
Cincinnati's putting it together now. They're
Yeah,
starting to be what they should be. Evander is starting to be Evander now. He's
Celentano
finding his way in that team, in
yep.
that system.
Celentano also had, I mean, what will be the performance to beat this season
Yeah,
now?
yeah, he was a stud.
The penalty save was crazy. There was another save, that like triple save at the post.
But he is one of the best keepers in the league. It's not
Oh yeah,
like this was Cabral or somebody when you go, oh my God, I didn't
right,
expect that. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
it's Celentano, it's Kalina.
Yeah.
People say Berkey, he doesn't impress me as much as he
Um,
does everybody else, but
I agree. But I mean, 9 points with no clean sheet, that's pretty hard to do as a goalie. Second most points from either team besides Evander.
yeah,
Denke also with a goal. He only played half the match though, so 6 points from him.
that's pretty good for 45 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Now, there was.
What are you looking at?
I was going back. So Orlando,
Oh, the
LA.
next
I
game.
mean, LA Galaxy just.
They're a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And I have in so many weeks gone, all right, this is the week Peck's going to do something. This is the week.
Yep.
It's not. It's never the week.
No.
They are horrendous.
They
And they're
look
still
terrible.
alive in the CCC.
Yeah.
How the hell is that possible?
I don't know. Well, and it almost seems like are they prioritizing that, and that's why? Because they look.
No. It's the same guys playing. Their starters are playing. And I think
Yeah.
they have, I'm not positive. I'm going to look this up, but I feel like they have 1 point in the MLS. I'm
Yeah,
not
double
100%
check that.
positive.
Orlando did look good though. 2 goals. Let's see. Ojeda with
2 points.
one, and Luis Muriel with the other. Christian Ramirez did get on the score sheet. Uh,
4 losses, 2 draws,
yeah,
2 points.
that is rough.
6 games in, they have 2 points, a third of a point per game.
Yeah.
The LA Galaxy, the
No, it's not very good.
defending champions.
Well, and they've done this before where they've started bad. I
Not
don't
this
think they've
bad.
started this bad, though.
No, they haven't. And Puig hurt. It shows you.
Yeah. No, he's a big
He
deal.
makes the engine run.
For sure.
But I thought Peck would make up for it because you saw a lot of games last year. He had a ton of assists. He had
Hmm.
all these things and it's just not like he needs Puig, or maybe he needs just someone else besides Paintsill, right?
Yep.
Because they got rid of Jovic,
Yeah.
so maybe it's we need another guy, and we just don't have it. But
Right.
I am done picking their players until I see some consistent positive.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Speaking of consistent, San Diego 3-2 over LAFC. LAFC hasn't been good lately. They're not the LAFC of old, but this is a big win for San Diego. It's the,
Yeah, absolutely.
SoCal, whatever they
Yeah,
wanted to call this game.
100%.
And they were up 3-0 quickly. This could have been worse. LAFC got two right before the half. That kind of stopped the bleeding, and then red card for LAFC. San Diego was able to just kind of run it out. Um, Honestly though, they could have made this worse if they tightened up. I think they got lax at the end of the first half. But it very easily could have been 3-0 going into the half.
It's funny how you see that when games seem like they're getting out of hand, all of a sudden they get back because guys just kind of relax.
Yeah. Well, in
Which a
LAFC, I mean, it
pro
was too hard.
couldn't do.
Um, let's see. San Jose 1-1 with Seattle. I don't really have much to say about it.
Now, San Jose, though, I mean, started like a bat out of hell.
Yeah.
They were on fire to start, and they've come back to earth and more.
Yeah. No,
Really disappointing.
they're back for sure. Um, then Austin 1-0 over St. Louis. St. Louis can't score again. Portland 3-1 over Houston. Houston, I mean, I thought Portland was going to put up a lot of goals this game. I wasn't sure. I felt like they were due for
I
that.
definitely did. And I thought DaCosta was going to do.
Yeah,
It was everybody else.
right. And that kind of brings us into last week's fantasy. So we'll start with my team. 77 points on the week. This is the best week I've had all season. Let's see. I was 2,147th is my overall rank now. My week rank was 488th.
That is weak.
Um, Not a bad week for me. So I actually screwed up. I had Ustari in with the intent that he was not gonna play, like I was gonna put someone else in. And then his game
Then left.
started when I wasn't paying attention. He had 3 points. But Brad Guzan is who I was thinking of, and he only had one. So I got away with it because it ended up in my favor. Finn Sermon for Portland. Originally it was supposed to be Ian Smith, but Finn Sermon, 4 points. Longwane and Dugan from Minnesota, 7 points each, holding that clean sheet. And then the midfield was pretty good. Rusnak with 13. Ojeda captained, so he had 18 instead of just his 9. Um, Gutierrez, I had in. He didn't play, so Lucho.
It's a lot of money for someone to
Yeah.
DNP.
No, well, and what happened is by the time I looked, that game had already started.
Yeah.
But Lucho Acosta went in for him with 7 points. Espinoza, 2 points on the field. Up top, so I had Kuipers and Ladela. Kuipers shit the bed, but Ladela with 11.
So much.
And then Kelvin Yaboa came off the bench as my flex. Originally, it was supposed to be the best of Acosta or Yaboa, but Gutierrez didn't play, so then they both ended up going in. Here's why I'm happy, because 77 is not like the best score ever.
No, that's a good score right now, and for this week.
Yeah, but I do feel like there's things I can easily fix here. I mean, the Gutierrez thing was a mistake. The goalkeeper thing was a mistake. Like that, this could have been a 90.
It's funny how you
Had I
look at it
planned
that way. I always look at it the opposite. Like I'm mad because I
Right.
can't do. You look at it as well. I can do better next week because I should have had this. I look at it as I left those points on the table and I can never get them back again.
Right. Well, and it's why I'm so much happier than you because you don't do that. I believe last week on the episode you said you wanted
The
to quit fantasy.
I still do. The glass is always half empty.
Yes.
Empty.
Um, but good week. One in my league. I am, what am I, second now? Tied for second there.
Behind me, who has what do we have, 10 in our league? I
Yes.
think I'm eighth overall in points, but I'm in first because I just play
Right.
everybody's worst week. So
As far as overall rankings go, 60th out of 424 for Charlotte FC fans, and then 2147 out of 13,400 and change. So moving on up. Definitely not where I want to be, but we are in week 7 now, which is the first week of the Fantasy Champions League qualifier 2. So,
yep. So now's a good time. This is the reset.
yep. If you don't know the rules on this, so top 50 finishers for each qualifying period. So
Yeah,
it'll
there's
be
4 of them,
1 to 6, 7 to 12, and so on. Top 50 qualify for the Fantasy Champions League, which
which
is
is
then
200.
the last however many weeks of the season it is, basically, I believe.
I think it's 3. It could be 4, but I think it's 3.
Gotcha. But that's how that works if you don't know. Neither of us have ever made it.
No, I came close last year on the 4th one.
Yeah, but
Really close,
it gives
actually.
you something to, even if you shit the bed from the beginning and overall's not really feasible for you
Right,
to
you
be
have a
chasing.
chance at the Champions League, which is pretty cool.
Right.
So it's one of the good things in the MLS fantasy game that is different.
Yeah.
With every other type of fantasy, every sport, every league, there's a lot of cool things in it, which is why we're into it and why I do keep coming back, even though I suck this year. um, but there are pros and cons. I don't like the way the schedule is this year.
Hmm.
It's too many lineups to look at. And
Yeah.
you you look at, so this is my wife's first year doing it, and she's not super into it. And I didn't expect her to be, but I thought as she did it more, she'd get a little more into it. She did with fantasy football, right? You have a vested interest, so
Mhm.
now you give a shit about something you probably wouldn't have. But she said to me, I'm not looking at that many
Yeah.
lineups all day long. Like, I'm not spending my entire Saturday and Sunday looking at lineups.
Yeah.
You know, I miss games. I missed who did Valencia.
Yeah.
Valencia wasn't in the lineup. I was coaching a soccer game at the time. Like, I can't. It's too many different times,
Yeah.
and you're just not helping your league. Like, there's so many things that the MLS could do better, and I just think they think they're flying high. And you're nowhere near the most popular soccer league in the world. You're still the 5th most popular pro league in your country. Eh,
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I've heard, so I've seen a lot of articles about like the MLS needs to get out of this Apple TV contract. I've heard people talk about Paramount Plus because there's a lot of leagues on Paramount, Champions Leagues on Paramount, Serie A, Brazilian Serie A. There's a
when you
few
don't have
others.
enough fans, you can't make people pay more for it.
Right.
You have to bring it to them, not they bring you to
Yeah, well,
themselves.
but I would argue if you pick the right streaming service, you are bringing it to them because they
Yeah.
already have it.
The
I mean,
right streaming service is Fox,
but it's not though,
NBC.
because young people don't have regular TV.
Okay.
We have YouTube TV, but I have YouTube TV because you pay for it. I wouldn't have YouTube TV if it wasn't for you. I
But
don't watch anything on live TV
if it's on
other than
NBC, then
sports.
it's also on Peacock.
Right, and so I would watch it on Peacock because I have that for the Premier League. Like they need to find a streaming service
I
that
mean, people
people
watch
already have.
NFL games that are on regular TV.
Yes,
It's the most popular sport in the country, and it's not even close.
for sure.
So,
Well, and I'm curious if you don't have regular TV, how you're watching NFL games, because there's got to be some way. I guess Hulu with the ESPN, whatever.
they're not on ESPN. I mean, if you're talking about your local team,
Yeah, well, but Hulu you can watch live TV, and some
which
I
is the
don't.
same thing as YouTube TV.
Right? Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But I've talked about it a bunch of times with specific teams, but it relates to this league.
Hmm.
When Bob Johnson owned the Bobcats,
Yep.
right? So Charlotte Hornets existed. They moved to New Orleans. We're the New Orleans Hornets.
Yep.
Then they were going to bring pro basketball back to Charlotte, and it was the Charlotte Bobcats because it was owned by Bob Johnson, which is disgusting, by the way. So he had all his money from Spectrum, Time Warner Cable,
Yeah,
whatever. It was Time Warner Cable, I believe, at the time.
it was.
So what he wanted to do was, or he did, you couldn't
Yeah,
watch the Bobcats unless you had Time Warner Cable.
right.
Who gave a shit about the Bobcats then?
Yeah, that
Nobody.
makes sense.
Nobody cared about the Bobcats. So they weren't like he thought, oh, it's like the Yes Network. Look, it works for the Yankees. You know,
Right.
the Yankees, one of the longest standing
Yeah.
classic franchises. Hey,
Mhm.
if it works for the Cowboys, it'll work for me. If it works for Barcelona, it'll work for me.
Right.
No, you're a nobody. Nobody gives a shit about you.
Yeah.
You
No,
are the
you have to get out
Bobcat.
there.
You are so not important that you don't even exist anymore.
Right.
So, and that's what I feel like the MLS is doing.
Yeah.
I went to, we don't have our season tickets this year. We gave them up.
Mhm.
I went to their last home game against San Jose.
Yep.
Now, not only it's a home game, so you should have fans, but look at that roster.
Mhm.
Chicho,
Yeah.
Espinoza, Rodriguez. There's real studs on that team that people should want to see.
Yeah, they're kind of a slept on stud team though. I feel like they don't get the credit
Chicho,
they deserve. Well, but San Jose doesn't get the credit they deserve.
maybe, but regardless, empty. I mean, that stadium was empty.
Mhm.
So you don't have fans here.
Right.
How do you get fans here? Get the games out in front of them. You got to put it on regular TV. You could put it on streaming services as well.
Mhm.
You got to get it on regular TV as much as possible.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me.
I
This was
agree.
I know I talked about this a long time. So I'll shut up now, but
I do feel like they need to do something with at least like your local games need to be on TV or something to that effect.
I mean
And then you have
outside of
season pass if you want to watch everything, kind of like the NFL.
yep, Sunday ticket, the NBA has a thing,
Yeah.
MLB extra innings.
Yep.
I can watch my local team, but then I can also watch everybody if I want to buy this package.
Yeah.
That's great. That's smart. But you're not letting people watch their local team.
Right.
How are you going to build fans? Now you're in Portland, you're in Seattle.
Yeah, you
There's
got
some other places where you have a fan base, but a lot of these teams I don't think have a real fan base.
Yeah.
And especially the new one. Charlotte 100% doesn't.
Right.
And there are other ones. When we went to that Atlanta game, there's a lot of empty seats in the lower bowl.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot.
No, and you see it at every stadium.
Yep. No, they can't fill up. They can't fill up NFL size stadiums. Not even close.
Right.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, because
Just not that popular.
people don't know about them.
You got to get the games out in front of people, and you have to make it easy for them to bet on, and you have to make it easy for them to play fantasy sports
Yeah.
because now they have a vested interest.
Yep.
And that is why the NFL is as big as it is. The NFL isn't so big because of all your traditional fans. It's not the dog pound in Cleveland and all your crazy. No, it's now your housewives are into
Mhm.
the NFL because they've got this and they've got FanDuel and DraftKings. They can do their little team and yeah, this is fun.
Mhm.
That's why. Well, MLS makes it so difficult
Yeah.
with all these start times, and you got to look at the lineups because all these guys are not playing. It's not. It's just not conducive to that, and I just think it makes it difficult to build a fan base.
For sure.
And I said I was going to shut up on this, and then I talked another 5 minutes on it.
Right.
So now we're really moving on.
So with that in mind, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times for Saturday games. We've got 2:30 Charlotte FC Nashville in Charlotte. 4:30 RSL host LA Galaxy. 7:30 we've got Atlanta Dallas. Cincinnati New England. Columbus Crew Montreal.
By the
Red
way,
Bull.
I have a 1:30 kickoff, so that 2:30 game is going to be great to try to look at a lineup.
Red Bulls Fire, Union Orlando City. Then 7:45 we've got Austin Portland. 8:30 we've got Dynamo LAFC Kansas City St. Louis. 9:30 Vancouver Colorado. 10:30 San Diego Seattle. Sunday we've got 3 games. NYCFC kicks it off versus Minnesota United at 3. 5 o'clock we got the San Jose Earthquakes versus DC United, and then 7 we have Inter Miami Toronto to close out.
Yeah, with the 3 Sunday games, more 7:30s and a 7:45 than there has been, and then
Mhm.
still your multiple afternoon games. The 9:30 and 10:30s are really light.
Yeah. So as far as teams we like, teams we don't, um, defensively, there's a couple places I'm looking. I kind of like Charlotte FC defensively. They're at home, Privet's back.
It's one of the big ones that people are taking. I'm
Yeah.
not. I
I
just don't trust them.
I like Kalina.
It's a potential bounce back game though, which that's kind of nice and that's appealing.
Right. And Nashville's a team
Coming
that
home.
I've seen them beat before. I've seen them hold them to clean sheets. I'm not like incredibly scared of Nashville necessarily.
No, but I could see Surge scoring a goal.
Yeah, definitely possible. I also like Cincinnati. I mean, they're playing the Revolution. I think Cincinnati's really on now. They're going back home. Celentano's coming off a huge week.
I like Cincinnati.
I like him and defenders. LAFC. I don't know how I feel about this game. I do sort of like Larice just because I mean last week was so rough for them and playing the Dynamo, I feel like this could be a comeback one. It's not one I'm super confident though, I'll be honest. I also did think about Hollingshead, just because, maybe there's a goal chance in there. And then I like Minnesota United. I like Longuane a lot for bonus point potential in that game. Um, they're definitely, I mean, playing NYCFC. The only thing that scares
At
me
Yankee
about
Stadium.
that at Yankee Stadium is what scares me here is are Minnesota gonna have enough room to really get those wing backs swinging up and down properly? But that's what I'm thinking about. What were you seeing as far as defense went?
So defensively, Cincinnati and Columbus are my two favorite
Yeah,
this week. Um,
and I didn't write it, but Columbus is one I looked at as well.
I have a color coded scoring system. They're the only two teams that are dark
Right.
green for both their goals against on the season as home teams and the other team's goals for on the
Mhm.
season as away teams. Now, again, and we've said this, that we don't have a lot of data to work with. We only have
Yeah.
6 weeks. When you look at home versus away, some teams only have like 2 weeks to work with.
Right.
In a couple of weeks, when Montreal is finally going to play a home game,
Mhm.
you'll have 0 home games to go on, even though it's going to be like week 9,
Yeah.
because they just start on the road so much. But those are my favorite. Also, like San Diego and St. Louis. I personally am done taking any St. Louis players that is not a keeper or defender.
Right.
They are they're atrocious offensively. And I mean, I took Leuven once. I've taken Hartel twice.
Yeah.
And I think I took Klaus once too. And every time it kicked me right in the anus. Like
Yeah.
it's been, and I look at my note right here. This will have to do more. Right after a week, write notes.
Right.
In the attacking for them, I wrote defense only.
Mhm.
And look at LA Galaxy across the whole thing. No more Galaxy players.
Right.
I need to do that right after I watch the games.
Yeah.
So that's who I like defensively. You want to talk about your mids and forwards?
Yeah. So, well, first let's get into because those were teams, but we didn't really talk about players. I've got Kalina right now in the net. I don't know if it's gonna stay that way, but just budget wise,
On your
him.
bench?
Yes, but
It's the first game of the day.
yeah,
You might
that's
as well.
why. Um, I don't really know that he's gonna stay there, but budget wise, that's probably what I'm thinking.
What's he cost?
7.7 million. I like selling. Oh, actually, you know what? Celentano's
The cheaper,
never
like
mind.
7.5 or 7.6, right?
Yes.
Because I have Schulte because he's 7.3. I like him and Celentano, and I just went with Schulte because he's cheaper. They play at the same time, and
Mhm.
that's why.
As far as defenders go, I mean, right now, so I have Mo Farsi and Longwane. I really just want one more. I'm not sure who that third one is going to be. It's really going to come down to budget stuff. Because right now, I mean, I would be over budget without moving something around. Um, but through the midfield, I've got Evander. He's captained right now, playing New England. I love that matchup. Espinoza. He wasn't really anything last week, and I think going they're at home. They've got DC. That's not a difficult defense to break down. I think
No,
he
they let up
could
a
go
lot.
off. Acosta I have in, and then I've got Forsberg right now. They're playing Chicago. I think that's a winnable game.
So do I, and I'm very scared of that.
Yeah.
He's just so inconsistent, like we said before.
Then I've got Diego Luna on the bench. Up top, I've got Christian Arango. Again, San Jose, love him against DC. I've got Denke right now as well. I don't know if I'm going to keep him just because I have a Vander. That might be a place I cut some money. And then I've got Petter Musa on the bench as well. He didn't score last week. He did have an assist, but they're going to Atlanta. Atlanta gives up a lot of goals. I kind of like him to go out there and put one away. Um, what I will end up doing if Denke comes out for someone cheaper to make room, Musa will go into the
What
starting
Denke
lineup.
cost?
9 million.
Oh, there's definitely people that are cheaper than that.
Oh, for sure. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Attacking wise, I mean, I like Diego Luna. I thought about just Miami players in general. I like them against Toronto. I just don't know. I mean, is Messi? How long is Messi going to play? How long is Suarez going to play? All those.
Yeah, they both played in the full game in CCC
Right.
and lost to LAFC.
Wow.
They can't win a damn MLS game, but they beat Inter Miami in the
Yeah.
CCC. How about that?
Um, but all those questions remain for Miami. I mean, once you see the lineup, if it's important to you to get them in, um, that's one that I would that's a game time decision, but leave money in your roster as a just in case. They're the last game of the week. So you kind of have to put those guys on your bench because you have no one to switch to
Well,
unless you want to switch to other
I would
people in the
doubt that
game.
Messi and Suarez will both sit. So a lot of times, I think you can have that Messi is in and Suarez is the switch out.
Right.
Honestly, with that matchup, if both of them sit, I still think you could take that next man up.
Yeah.
And Miami has done that. They have scored. Other guys that have gone in have scored.
Yeah. Um,
So,
I also like Russell Rowe this week, and Rossi as well. I mean,
I have
either of
Rossi.
them really. That's what I got. John, walk him through it.
All right. So, like I said, I had Schulte in goal. Um, I really like them, but I have him on price over Celentano.
Hmm.
Um, defensively, I have Alba. I think this is a week they actually could get a clean sheet. And then additionally, his attacking potential. I mean, I love them. They are one of the highest rated teams this week, attacking wise,
Right.
when you look at the numbers. So I am a big fan of Alba. He might be my favorite defender this week.
Hmm.
I got Herrera and Miles Robinson right now. Herrera from Columbus, not Herrera from
Right.
um, again because I like Columbus and Cincinnati.
Hmm.
And right now I got Ali Ahmed. Um, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep him. I mean, I think he can score, and
Yeah.
that's why I always like him. The guy's out of position. Him, Langwani, Orishano. I would have went Orishano over Robinson. It was a budget pick.
Hmm.
Wagner, all of those guys. So Ahmed is cheaper than all the other guys that are really out of position. So
Right.
that's why I have him. And then I have a scrub right now. I have a defensive scrub and a midfield scrub, and potentially doing a best 2 out of 3
Hmm.
Autoroo on the bench. But we'll see how those guys do in those early games, and then I might make changes. But that's currently what I have. My midfield, I also have a Vander captain. I might change that. Um,
Right.
but right now I do. I do have Forsberg in as well. I think he could have a hat trick in this game, and I think he could do nothing. I think he could have up.
Yeah.
So I
I
think he
agree.
could play 72 minutes and get a yellow card and have 1 point.
Yeah.
I have Ojeda. He has literally been the only constant in my team like all season. He is
Yep.
the model of consistency. Rusnak really has been as well, and he never makes it into my lineup. Now he's super expensive. I don't love his matchup this week, but even with bad matchups, he's still scoring. Like
Yeah. Well, and I
scoring
don't.
points, fantasy points, not scoring goals.
Yeah, I don't love his matchup either.
And at that price, it's just really hard. And there's so many guys to like right now. On the bench, in part of that potential switcheroo, I have David Martinez right now.
Hmm.
LAFC is actually they're scoring 2 goals per game. Are they home? No, they're away. On the road, they're scoring 2 goals per game, and Houston at
Yep.
home is letting up two and a 2 2/3 goals per game.
Yeah.
So they're the only team that is over 2 for both what they're doing and what the team they're playing is doing. And Martinez is only 6.7 million.
Wow.
So huge difference from Bouanga. And honestly, he's done better than Bouanga.
Yep.
So that's why I have Martinez on my bench. Up top, I have Baribo. He is someone I'm thinking about captaining.
Yeah. I didn't write him down, but he's someone I saw and then kind of scared me.
Orlando lets up so many goals. Philly did not have a great week last week. I think they
Yeah.
come back home. This could be they win 4-3.
Makes sense.
And Brebo, someone I'm really considering captaining. I have Diego Rossi. Love him at home against Montreal.
Mhm.
And then right now I have Suarez. Again, I
Yeah.
love Miami. Um, attacking and defending this week. I don't love Miami.
Yeah.
We all know that, but so right now I have Suarez. I don't think Messi's going to play. He played the whole damn game last game.
Yeah. Well,
They're
he's really
playing
not playing a lot this
Toronto,
season.
who this shouldn't even be a game.
Yeah.
He may come in, but he's definitely starting on the bench. When he starts on the bench, if Suarez starts on the field, I'm on Suarez.
Yeah, I agree.
So right now, that's what my lineup looks like.
And then as far as betting lines go, so Charlotte, Nashville, Charlotte minus 102. I kind of like them at even money like that. I don't know that I would bet it, but it's definitely a game I thought about. RSL plus 110 playing the Galaxy at home. I like them.
Yeah.
Cincinnati minus 185 against New England. I mean, it's safe. The odds aren't great on it, but I think it's almost a sure thing. Same thing with Columbus, minus 235 against Montreal.
There's a reason for those numbers, though. I mean, that should be an annihilation, but
Right.
that is a lot, too.
Orlando plus 210 in Philly. Also Philly plus 110. So if you have a strong hunch either way there,
Wow.
I kind of like Orlando on
Only
like
because
an
of the odds.
outside
I don't
chance.
think they're going to win. I mean, I think Philly's a much better team this year than they were last year.
Yeah. Well, and I mean they're better than even money, so
Yeah, no, I think that's
I think whichever
Orlando
side of
doesn't
that.
necessarily always win. They just score a lot. So
Yeah.
I think Philly can outscore them.
Probably. Well, and the over 2.5 goals is minus 175. I mean, they're pretty confident it's going to be
Wow.
high scoring. Atlanta minus 155 hosting Dallas. Dallas plus 360. I kind of could see Dallas winning this game.
Mm.
I don't know that I would bet
I
it.
don't love either team, but plus
Yeah.
365 if you want to lay a little just because the odds are nice.
I think it's
But I
worth betting if you're already betting a couple
wouldn't
games,
bet Atlanta.
that could cover a few for you. Um, Vancouver minus 130. I mean, I think they're gonna win, but um, San Diego hosting the Sounders plus 130. I kind of like San Diego in this game. I mean, the Sounders been really good. Rusnak's been really good. Um,
Yeah, it's hard to bet against them even on the road.
yeah, but I mean, San Diego, the clear better record. I think they've looked the better team as of late. Um, and then
I would stay away from that game.
Miami minus 275. I mean, I think they're a sure thing. It's just not worth betting. Toronto plus 600, which is just a funny number.
Yeah,
And then
I think you're just throwing that money away.
San Jose plus 110. I think they should win.
They should. They've just been so bad lately.
Yeah, no, I
They look
agree.
horrific against Charlotte.
They should win that game though, and then also the over set at 3.5 goals for that game, but it's plus 120. If you think it's going to be 2-2 or higher. I don't know, but I'm leaning to probably
3.5 is a
over.
lot of goals to go
Yeah,
over. And
but
both teams can score. Both teams' defensive haven't been great. So,
yeah,
and that's why that number's there. But that's risky. I mean, I think you pick 3 that you love
hmm
and you stick with those.
um, that's pretty much all we have for you, John. Anything else you want to say to the people?
There's actually one thing I do want to talk about,
Okay.
and we didn't yet. And it's a reason that this game right here, Sporting Kansas City, St. Louis, I don't think is so easy to pick.
Okay.
Peter Vermees is gone.
Yeah.
First of all, I will say a lot of their success over the years, Sporting Kansas City, is because of him.
Mhm.
I think when you look through the enormous career as a coach
Yeah.
in the front office, everything, he's done a lot of good for them. But in the last few years, I think they've been dog shit because of him.
Yes.
And this is so long overdue. But that's it's short-sighted to only look at it from that perspective. Because really
Yep.
though, so much of their success over the years is because of him.
Yeah.
But I just think he's just kind of past his time. The game's passed him by. Maybe he doesn't have the passion anymore. There's so many reasons.
Mhm.
Um, but when coaches leave that next first game, so many times when this is a loser team, they come out on fire.
Yeah. Well, and there's some players at Kansas City that really
Jovic, this could be Jovic's breakout week.
Jovic, you could see it. I also feel like Agata, we haven't seen much of.
Yep.
Um, I mean, there's definitely some potential in
But
that
now they're
team.
playing a team that lets up very few goals.
Yeah.
So you'd look at this game and say, "Oh, St. Louis D, Sporting's done nothing." But now Sporting might do something when this is that first week. I
Mhm.
like whoever Sporting plays the following week.
Right.
Um, but I did want to talk about it because of how different that game could look.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
definitely worth
but then
paying
also
attention.
because as much as I really thought Sporting's been really bad, at least these last 2 years, you really do have to say a lot of good things about Peter
Yeah.
Vermes, and I think it's just appropriate.
No, huge part of that team and it being what it was.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that is our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week.
Yep.